My name is Anna Sitkowska. At the moment, I work as instructional designer at Dublin Business School, and my job involves development of asynchronous content, mainly for flipped deliveries. I have background in teaching English as a foreign language and lecturing soft skills. In this presentation, I will give you an overview of my applied research project, the topic of which is increasing engagement in online learning through virtual reality. I will start with my research question. The main aim of the research is to verify how effective is virtual reality in increasing engagement in online learning. And that refers to asynchronous deliveries to on-demand programs. In this presentation, I will give you reasons for research. I will give you an overview of my literature review. I will present research design and rationale for research. I will present work I've done so far on my artifact. And I will also present my e-portfolio and future actions. The reason why I've decided to do research on engagement in online learning is the fact that at the moment the engagement rates and completion rates are fairly low. On-demand programs, they're as low as many as 90% of people don't complete online courses, on-demand courses, so that's significantly low. And according to Joyce and Brown, the main reason for low completion rates, the main reason is a feeling of isolation that remote learners experience. There's no contact with the classmates, with the lecturer, so that decreases their motivation. And the reason for it is lack of immersion. So my hypothesis is that virtual reality, the aim of virtual reality, that to immerses the users. So perhaps that's how the engagement rates might be higher if that tool is used in on-demand programs. In my literature review, I focused on three main points. First, I investigated theoretical approaches to increasing engagement in education. So I looked at it from behaviorism perspective, where engagement is driven through objectives, cognitivism, where engagement is driven through a learner-centered approach, and constructivism, where the learners need to think critically and are involved in the process, in the learning process, through critical analysis and thinking, which is the highest level. Afterwards, I investigated the use of virtual reality across various disciplines. I investigated marketing, where VR is used for visualization, medicine and military, where VR is mainly used for simulations and for scenarios. I ended up with investigating virtual reality in education. It's already being used mainly in medicine for simulations and for scenarios, and also in architecture for visualization. In my research design, I've decided to use action research, mainly because I'm trying to improve current process. The engagement levels are low, and through cyclical process, I will try to improve engagement levels in on-demand programs. I will be using qualitative research methodologies to gather data. The main reason for it is because I need participants' perspective and their perceptions to know why the engagement is low, what is that I need to do to improve it. To gather data, I will be using questionnaires and interviews. Questionnaires will allow me to ask a number of questions and gather comprehensive data for analysis. while questionnaires will allow me to find out what were individual experiences and how did the participants react to the phenomenon of VR in on-demand courses. I will be using convenience sampling for my research. I targeted specific people. It's important that I have a mix of attitudes and experiences in my course. So I need people who have used VR previously, who haven't used VR, who attended online courses, who haven't attended online courses. So I need as much mix as possible to see how people react to that phenomenon. For my action, I will use 2 cycles for my action research. And the cycle, prior to first cycle, I will ask students to complete a pre-course questionnaire. Afterwards, there'll be 1 post-course questionnaire and 1 interview at the end of each cycle. The aim of pre-course questionnaire is to find out what are the attitudes in general to online learning, to VR, to the topic itself, what are demographics, what's the prior knowledge and prior attitudes. Post-questionnaire will verify how those attitudes changed, how that knowledge changed, whether their attitudes are still the same. And I will also need to know what are the observations on the type of interactions that were used in the on-demand course. For my artifact, I used ADDIE instructional design model. At the moment, I'm at the development stage. The course itself is collaborative teamwork, and the aim of it is to create a healthy work environment and a productive team. And that course is aimed more at managerial level. I will have 2 separate courses for each cycle so that the material is related but not exactly the same. The second cycle will be on virtual collaborative teamwork. What you can see in this slide is the structure of the collaborative teamwork for first cycle. I will start with a brief introduction that will be in a video format. That will start with statistics of how many people leave employment over unhealthy workplace, unhealthy work environment. I will provide definitions of what's teamwork, what's collaboration, and an overview of what's going to happen in that program. The overall duration will be about 30 minutes. In the second section, I will introduce a scenario with the use of VR. The aim of it is to immerse the learners and make them feel from the point of view of an observer how the conflict evolves, why it evolves, what's the barrier, how did it start, how it could have been prevented. So I want them to analyze that as an observer, and VR will help them to increase the feeling of presence as if they were in that scenario. Afterwards, I will ask them to reflect on what kind of make them realize what their point of view is on that given scenario. There will be no wrong answer. It's more in a form of reflection. Afterwards, I will present a study conducted by Google, our Aristotle data study, the outcome of which was that the key to successful teamwork is psychological safety. Afterwards, I will back that up with a model that supports the fact that psychological safety is the key to successful teamwork and healthy workplace. That section again ends with MCQ reflection, and I will finalize with a theory of how to facilitate collaborative teamwork strategy, and that will conclude with learners producing a strategy plan. It's all one-way communication, which makes it really challenging, and the paradigm I want to use for this on-demand course is something between cognitivism and constructivism. And as I am on the development stage, and there is no branding guidelines I need to follow. I used the Color Hunter website to determine on the color palette that I'll be using for the development of my artifact. So I need to use colors that are associated with that topic. What you can see in this slide is the evolution of my artifact. I'll be using Adobe Captivate to develop the artifact. As you can see, there I'm on my third branching model now. Hopefully that will be the final one. The previous one was too broad. I had to scale it down. The course would have been too long. So at the moment it's approximately 30 minutes with a variety of interactions. There's only one VR interaction that I will use, and perhaps for the second cycle, based on learner feedback, I will add more VR-based activities. Perhaps I will use it in a different type of activity. So I used a variety of activities because I would like the learners to tell me which one they reacted to in a most positive way. All the work I've put together so far is uploaded into my ePortfolio. The second year is divided into 4 main sections. In eLearning project management, you can learn more about my artifact and development of the artifact. There's supervision meeting logs, research project where I include information on methods, methodologies, literature review, and there's overall reflections. So far, I'm on time with all my schedules. Hopefully by mid of December, I will be able to complete my artifact, and that should be ready for release mid-January. Once I receive, hopefully I will receive my ethical approval, I will be sending invitations to the participants with full info on what's involved in the program. I still need to finalize questionnaires and make sure all the questions I need answers to are included. And while the learners will be completing their course, I will be doing more research on how to analyze qualitative data. I will also continue uploading in all blogs to my ePortfolio. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.